Welcome back to the channel. Today kicks off part 1 of an epic Naruto What If. What if Naruto was reborn with psychic powers in the Yamanaka Clan? In this version, Naruto is reborn as Inoiki Yamanaka, a psychic prodigy with powers that could change the fate of the Hidden Leaf. Let's dive in and see how his story unfolds. The lively streets of Konoha echoed with the sound of footsteps, 3 distinct rhythms moving at varying speeds. At the front was a determined blonde girl, her twin pigtails bouncing with every brisk step. Struggling to match her pace was a tall, gangly boy, and lagging a few strides behind him was a rounder boy, breathless and clearly overwhelmed. This trio, Ino-Shika-Cho and Choji, had shared countless days together since their earliest memories. "Ino, could you please slow down a bit?" Shikamaru called out between breaths, his voice filled with fatigue. His legs dragged as he fought to keep up. "I'm completely worn out." Choji, barely keeping himself upright, gave a weary nod before plopping down on the ground. "That's it for me. I need a break," he panted, trying to catch his breath. Far ahead, Ino came to an abrupt halt. She spun around with an exasperated sigh, eyebrows knit in frustration. "Seriously? We've barely run a block and you two are already dying," she huffed, arms folded tight across her chest. "This is exactly why you're both always out of shape." The boys exchanged sheepish glances but said nothing. As much as they wanted to argue, they knew she wasn't wrong. With a roll of her eyes, Ino sighed heavily. "Fine. My dad told me to find my brother, so I'll go alone if I have to. You two can sit here and rest all day." Without waiting for a reply, she turned and marched on ahead. Shikamaru rubbed the back of his neck, muttering, "So troublesome." He glanced at Choji, still planted on the ground. "She's our friend," Choji said, getting up slowly with a determined grunt. "We can't let her go off by herself." Shikamaru gave a resigned nod. Yeah. Let's get this over with." Together, the two boys trudged on, following Ino at a slower pace. Eventually, Ino reached the familiar clearing of the 3rd training ground, a brother's favorite escape when he wanted peace and quiet. The breeze danced gently through the trees, rustling leaves and casting soft shadows across the ground. Pushing through a low-hanging branch, Ino spotted her brother Inoiki reclining on a tree limb, eyes closed, completely at ease. "Brother, Dad's looking for you," Ino called out sternly. "He wants you back now." Inoiki's eyes fluttered open. He looked down at her with that same crystal blue gaze, tousled blonde hair catching sunlight through the canopy. "All right," he mumbled sleepily. "Something about a meeting with Uncle Shikaku and Uncle Choza, about my future, or whatever." He scratched his head and shrugged. "Totally slipped my mind." Ino crossed her arms, annoyed. "Well, Dad's furious. If we don't leave now, you're going to be in serious trouble." Inoiki chuckled, unconcerned. "Dad's all talk. If he tries to punish me, I'll just tell Mom. That'll shut him down fast." A mischievous grin crept across his face. Ino winced. Her brother wasn't wrong. If their mom got involved, their father would fold faster than a paper fan. A small part of her almost felt bad for him. Almost. Before she could reply, Shikamaru and Choji finally emerged, panting like they'd run a marathon. Both collapsed onto the grass, utterly defeated. "We made it," Shikamaru whispered, arms sprawled wide as he stared up at the sky. "Barely." Choji lay beside him, breathing hard, his face flushed. From up in the tree, Inoiki laughed heartily. "Looks like you two got dragged into one of my sister's missions." With ease, he floated off the branch, hovering for a moment before landing gently on the ground. The motion was smooth, otherworldly even, but by now the others barely reacted. They had grown used to Inoiki's strange new powers. "Still showing off, huh?" Shikamaru muttered, eyes half closed. "Would it kill you to walk like the rest of us?" Ino shot her brother a glare. "Cut it out and let's move. Dad's seriously about to lose it." Inoiki shrugged casually. All right. Let's get moving." He looked at the two boys still sprawled in the grass and smirked. "Need a lift?" "Don't even joke about that," Shikamaru groaned, rolling onto his side. Choji only managed a weak nod. Ino stomped her foot impatiently. "Come on. At this rate, Dad's going to send the entire ANBU squad after us." With a chuckle, Inoiki began walking. Shikamaru and Choji slowly got to their feet, grumbling under their breath, but they followed. Despite the complaints and exhaustion, the bond between the four was evident. Through friendship, frustration, and a little bit of chaos, they always had each other's backs, even if it meant running through the whole village to chase down a lazy sibling. As the evening sun cast a golden hue over the village, Inoiki finally returned home. Right behind him were Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji. Their steps echoed softly through the wooden corridors as they made their way into a room where Shikaku, Choza, and Inoiki's father, were already gathered, waiting in thoughtful silence. The mood was heavy, laced with expectation. Inoichi immediately stood when he saw his son enter, his stern gaze locking onto him. "You're late," he said sharply, frustration crackling in his tone. "I told you to be here on time. Your uncles have been waiting." Inoiki remained calm, despite the tension. "I was training at the third ground," he replied, then added with a shrug, "and I might have fallen asleep. But hey, you're the only one fuming. Look at Uncle Shikaku and Uncle Choza, they're chill. You could learn something from them." For a moment, it looked like Inoichi would lash out, but Shikaka stepped in, his voice smooth and composed. "Let go, Inoichi. He didn't mean to be disrespectful. Let's just move forward." Reluctantly, Inoichi backed down and returned to his seat, still visibly displeased. Shikaka then turned to the rest of the room. "All right, now that everyone is here, let's begin." With a firm tone, he gestured for Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji to sit. The young heirs of the clans took their seats, knowing something important was about to unfold. Shikaka's voice grew serious. "This meeting is to finalize the next generation of the Ino-Shika-Cho trio. These three will eventually become the leaders of their clans and carry forward the alliance forged by their ancestors." The gravity of his words silenced the room. "Originally, Inoiki was chosen to represent the Yamanaka Clan," Shikaku continued. "But everything changed when he awakened his unique Kekiai Jinkai, psychokinesis. And now he has something to say." All eyes turned to Inoiki, who stood with quiet confidence. "The Ino-Shika-Cho formation has always worked because each clan brings its own unique strength," he said. "The Akimichi offer unmatched physical power, the Nara contribute control and intelligence, and the Yamanaka clan brings mental and sensory abilities. Together, they're unbeatable." He paused, his gaze steady. "But since unlocking psychokinesis, I've developed strengths that touch on all three areas. I can push, pull, and immobilize enemies using only my mind. I can defend just as well as the Akimichi, and I can strategize and control movement like the Nara. And, of course, I still wield the Yamanaka's mind techniques." With a slight smirk, he added, "I've become something close to a one-man team. That's why I believe Ino should take my place in the next Ino-Shika-Cho formation." "She's more than ready." There was a brief silence as everyone processed his words. Then, slowly, heads began to nod. Even Inoichi, though clearly disappointed, couldn't deny the truth in his son's logic. He had always dreamed of Inoiki carrying the family legacy, but deep down, he knew his son wasn't one for rigid roles or traditional expectations. Inoiki thrived in freedom. He wasn't meant to lead a clan. He was meant to carve his own path. Shikako broke the silence. "All right. If everyone agrees, let's inform Hokage-sama of our decision." Choza and Inoichi nodded. The plan was set. As the elders prepared to leave and share the news with the Hokage, the tension in the room gave way to a sense of calm. The younger generation, Inoiki, Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino, breathed easier. "Well, that was a drag," Shikamaru muttered, stretching. "But it's over," Ino said, smiling at her brother. "And you handled it like a pro." Inoiki shrugged. "I just said what I felt. That clan leadership stuff was never really my style." Choji grinned and slapped him on the back. "Come on, let's go hang out before our dads rope us back into another meeting." As the group exited the room, laughter filled the air. The burdens of leadership could wait. Right now, they were just friends, enjoying the peace before the next storm. And that concludes part 1 of What If Naruto Was Reborn with Psychic Powers in the Yamanaka Clan. We've only scratched the surface of Inoiki's journey, and there's so much more to explore: his training, his bonds, and how his powers could reshape the ninja world. Part 2 is coming soon, so if you're enjoying this alternate universe, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next chapter and all the other parts to come. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more Shinobi rewrites.